Hello everyone.
And we're at one of the most famous places historically in Britain.
Are we really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm the historian, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
about that, but we'll tell you later where we are.
Okay.
Okay, we're here for part 5 of our special series.
Yeah.
On structuring your
On
training.
structuring your training. And today I want to talk about transitioning from one phase of your training to the next.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about the base training
Yeah,
phase.
I've done my 2-hour run today.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, well done.
That's the most important run of the base training.
And last week we talked about how you know you're improving, because you need to know when to move on to this next phase, don't you?
And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then why would you want to change what you're doing?
And this phase is the hill phase.
The hill phase. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Two people
We're accompanied this week.
Yeah, this famous place is heaving with people. Okay, so so first of all, we've done our aerobic phase, and we're going to look at coming on to the hill phase. So I just want to look at, before I say why we do the hill phase, when do you change quickly? When do you change, and why do you change? So really,
we talked a little bit about that.
Last week
about, you stop improving, so you need to put another stimulus in.
Yeah.
But what if you're aiming for a marathon, okay, and you've got this target in a certain number of weeks?
Yeah, well, you still have to plan it in and change what you're doing. So just to give yourself another stimulus. So you haven't got the weeks to play with. So you have to set it out in a more structured way, I think.
Yeah. Well, we could do that in another video, can't we?
Yeah.
We're going through this very historic doorway.
Yeah. So so you've either not got enough time, and you have to change to put another stimulus in, or you've realised that you've stopped really improving and it's time to add another stimulus on. And but before you do that, what you need to do is you need to just prepare yourself a little bit for the next phase that's coming.
Yeah, so this is a hill phase, so it's no good going into it if you haven't been up a hill.
No.
The last
Should we
few
go
weeks.
down that way?
Yeah, we can go down that way, I think.
So so what you need to do in a few weeks before is I would do just some more hilly runs, if you've got some hilly runs, and I would do some sparkly hills.
Oh, I love sparkly hills.
So they might
explain what they are.
Yeah, okay. So they would just be, your 10-second lactic. You never get out of breath if you just use 10 seconds. The sparkly bits where you do them uphill, and you can run up the steepest hill you've got.
You just go up for 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Then you walk for a bit, you recover.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, you can do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love sparkly hills. I think they're brilliant. So that's one way of preparing, isn't it?
And you might do a longer run. You might do a longer hillier
run. What about how you tackle those hills? Because a lot of people get to a hill and they want to really push up it, don't they? See it as a challenge.
It's got to be chatty still. It's got to be aerobic.
So if you're getting out of breath, you've got to stop and...
You walk.
Yeah. What I find is very often you can just slow your pace right down, and you might find you get to the top.
Just keep tapping up the hill,
Yeah, but if you are getting breathy, you've got to walk. You mustn't push up the hill.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, so let's go to the hill. You prepared yourself. You know it's time. You're going to go to your hill phase. Okay, so twice a week you're going to change what you do, and you're going to put some hills in.
Right.
Okay, but these aren't the hills that you'll get most people doing, where they just charge up the hill and get rapidly out of breath. So why are we changing to the hills? Well, you've got your aerobic, you're building up your heart and your lungs and your blood vessels going into your muscles and things. We want to continue building that up. So it's still an aerobic.
The long run's still there.
The long run's still there.
Chatty runs are still there.
Yeah, it's still an aerobic phase, but we're going to add the hills. And the hills are not charging up the hills. You're not going to get out of breath doing the hills. But what they will do is, and what I'll show you next week, is you just do steep hill running, where you just bring your knees up and you go up the hill with really fast knees. And
it's a special way of doing it, isn't it?
And we can do a little... If you're very experienced or you come from another sport and you're strong, you might be able to do some hill bounding. But for now, we just talk about steep hill running, and you'll do the steep hill running, and you'll do that twice a week. Then when you get to the top of the hill, you have a little jog, and then you do long, if you haven't got any problems with shins or knees, then you can do a lovely long, fast downhill bit. and a couple of sprints along the bottom, and then you might go up and go round again.
Yeah, and you'll go into more detail on that next week.
Yeah, but
And what's it going to do for you?
Right.
Doing this steep hill running?
So what it's going to do is you've got your cardiovascular system, so your heart's getting bigger and your blood vessels going into your muscles. The blood vessels are widening. You're getting more blood vessels. You've got more mitochondria in the cells, so they can use more oxygen. But the tendons and your muscle strength lags a bit behind.
We said that, didn't we, last week? Let's carry on.
And then if you go from the aerobic conditioning phase straight into a faster running stage, you're really at quite a
risk, aren't you? An injury.
Quite a big injury risk. So what this does is it cuts out that injury risks. It gets your tendons stronger. It gets your muscles a bit stronger by running, basically. So there's no weight training involved. Just go out and run.
Yeah, so we do it naturally.
Do it naturally. Yeah, running's a natural thing. So you'll get stronger by running. So you'll get your leg muscles will be getting stronger when you're running because you're doing more.
And this is working with the body, if you think about it,
of course
isn't
it is.
Because you're preparing your cardiovascular system, and then, as your tendons and, when you're ready...
You strengthened it up,
You started to strengthen your tendons and your ligaments and all up, and now they're ready just for that extra...
That extra boost.
Yeah, extra boost to make sure that they are strong enough to cope with fast running.
Yeah. So that's what we do twice a week. Probably do some hills, or if they're only running 4 times a week, they might do hills once a week.
Yeah,
Keep
it
the
depends on your
fartlek.
experience, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would at least once a week. So if you're running 4 times a week, I would do one long run, 1 chatty sparkly fartlek, 1 hill session, and 1 chatty run.
Yeah.
If they're doing 5 runs a week, 1 long run, 2 hill sessions, and 2 chatty runs.
And how long between the hill sessions?
Couple of days rest.
Yeah, because you might feel it in your legs, might you?
Tuesday and Saturday might be, or Wednesday and Saturday. Well, hopefully you will feel it in your legs. Your legs will get tired because that's your legs working.
But it's still aerobic, isn't it? You're not.
Yeah, you mustn't get out of breath.
You're not getting that. And you'll show that next week.
Yeah, in Shrewsbury.
People might be puzzled by that.
Yeah.
How can you do hills and not get out of breath?
Yeah, well, I can show them. And we might even go to the zigzag. So in Shrewsbury, in the centre of Shrewsbury, there's on the other side by Shrewsbury School, there's a very steep hill with a zigzag path up, and we call it the zigzags, and we use that.
And you've had plenty of runners.
And these are runners that before have got out of breath and really were not looking forward to the session, but after their session were really pleased because they hadn't got out of breath and it hadn't been really tiring. They don't get heavy legged. They get achy legs, but not heavy legs.
And that's the key difference.
That's the key difference. So you're getting stronger without getting the acidity into your legs.
Brilliant. So next week?
I'm all primed and ready to go.
You're primed and ready to go, okay.
See an old man.
I'll film you.
See an old man doing. But it's good. If it's good enough for me, it's good enough for anybody. Yeah. You're going to tell them where we are then? It's incredibly busy.
Decent view. Oh, yeah.
Incredibly busy. Because there are another
most famous historical site in the country. No, it's Acton Burnell Castle.
In Shropshire.
It's a lovely look. It's not really a defensive castle. It's more of a house.
And it's the site of the first Parliament.
I believe, yes, there was. The first Parliament was held here back in Edward I's reign.
Okay, whenever that is, I'm not a clue what you're talking about. But
and
anyway,
Edward
that's good.
I was building all his castles in Wales.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we will see you next week for more on the hill phase.
There won't be so much history lessons next week.
Don't forget to visit our website and join us on Facebook with the group, because you're still posting your running shorts, aren't you?
Yep, going to do another one in a minute.
So if you want to follow how Colin's training is going, even though he hasn't got a marathon to go for now, join our Facebook group. Okay, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.